should leave them to their reunion. The next phase of this drama is the kidnapping contest. Go. How are your people, Rolo? Recovered and ready for what tonight holds?
Lork's death hit hard. Many served long with him and relished his tales of glorious loss and battles won. Put that aside. We're ready now. What would you have of us?
Wait for my signal. When I approach Estrid, that is your time.
I am your axe, Eivor.
Night will fall soon. Then is our moment to strike.
So that his seed might fall on the fertile land and grow the grain anew.
I don't care for that pagan pomp. There is just one God now, and he gives us everything we need in this life and the next.
So that his seed might fall on the fertile land and grow the grain anew.
I don't care for that pagan pomp. There is just one God now, and he gives us everything we need in this life and the next.
So that his seed might fall on the fertile land and grow the grain anew.
I don't care for that pagan pomp. There is just one God now, and he gives us everything we need life and the next. Stand down, you Saxon dogs! The Lady of Essex is ours! You're coming with me!
This is fountain! Down! What do we down?
Odin's beard. You wouldn't fool a child with that howl.
Unhand me! What will become of my virtue?
We have business!
We are safe enough to walk, I think. Aren't we?
Who assigned those guards to us?
Yes, you noticed as well. That was Thane Adrian. He insisted. He does worry for me so. Oh, what a thrill! My heart is racing.
Be glad it still beats at all. Your screaming drew half the guards in Colchester down upon us.
I wanted to give a good performance. My father always said I was quite the actor.
I won't deny your enthusiasm.
Did you not have even a little fun?
To steal away a princess. It did give a thrill.
A woman fights bravely against her abductors. Yet, what will they do with me now? Is my virtue safe with you?
It's not in danger, if that's what you mean.
Come now, Evo. You can stand against Alfred's brutes, but you shudder at a maiden. It is done. And all that stands between me and my home now is a foaming ribbon of surf and silt.
You did well, Rollo. You and your people. Are you ready to sail?
Loki's hissing sun churns the waters between our coasts. We'll need time to rest as we wait for fairer weather.
Have a care then. Alfred's soldiers will be looking for Estrid, even if Beastons will not.
Now's not the time for such worries, A4. Tonight we celebrate. Let's get you some meat.
Birstan will meet you northeast of Colchester tomorrow. You have earned all my husband promised, and more. Come find me, if you like, away from these reveling dames.
We should find Beastons. No doubt he's hunting again.
Our roots worthy of the trickster's note. They're stolen by us.
That Frankish princess better not turn her nose up at me. I can't wait to be through this swamp hole.
What lies ahead, I wonder?
A new life, or an old life renewed.
My old life. Francia. Mon Dieu, I feel as if I have been sleepwalking these past years, waiting for something to shake me awake.
Did you dream while you sleepwalked?
I did. I dreamed that all my fleeting happiness was a prelude to something bigger. Glimpses of greater joy, greater love. Lie with me, Eivor, under the stars of England. Give me a last bittersweet moment before I leave her shores.
I'll be with you tonight. But tomorrow your new life must begin. I hope you won't look back. Shh. Still your lips. And come here.
Soon we'll be hunting.
Kirsten, Esther said you'd be here.
Eivor, dear heart, you who drew back the bow of Eros and reunited me with my one true love.
Have your thanes asked why you did not look for Esther?
Pish. They have asked, yes. I said it was hopeless. Then I lay upon my couch, sobbing and wailing. A pretty show.
That may not be enough.
Tut. The wind is soft upon our faces, and I am far from the whispering doors of Colchester. Come, let's hunt.
What are we hunting now?
Boar. A majestic animal, don't you think? Driven by a fierce fire, blazing eyes, and sword tusks.
I once knew a strong-armed shield maiden who rode a boar into battle. She named it Bristlebuild.
How wondrously strange. Your tales are worthy of the hearing. We'll not ride our boars, but eat them. A feast in Alvida's honor.
A feast for your mistress? Biston, if this ruse falls apart, King Alfred will strip you of your title. Our alliance would be worthless.
Have no fear, I shall be discreet. We will eat and sup at my hall with a few friends and family. It is there our friendship will be sealed.
So soon after Lambeth, will people there not recognize me?
No, you are just one more Dane. And in that chaos, who remembers anything but the screams of dear Esther?
These are your lands. I trust in your judgment. And how is Olga?
She is a firebrand. We have rekindled our love as if we were teenagers. Even Ellerich is a welcome addition. A younger brother to me, yet more alike to a son. The things I should like to teach him. This is the spot. The best boar here. Table won't fill itself. The scrumptious marrow from your bones, you foresight devil. Come on, the feast table won't fill itself. You will say, a haunch worthy of their right.
A good hunt, Biston.
And enough for one day, I think. Even my flames will not go hungry with this catch, and they are as voracious as wolves, snatching at my carcass.
They may give you grief, but I've been nothing but amused. They are a welcome change to warring Jarls and piss-sudden politics.
You have brought us all true happiness, Eivor. I thank you from the bottom of a heart full up with joy.
Kirsten, the Heart Hound, who sought his true love by searching the sad haven of his memory and finding her there.
Beautifully said, my friend. Beautifully said. Come, Percy, you hapless hound. Barely a poor buried, I do not know why I keep you in my employ.
They now have pigeons that are mixed, animal and machine.
It would be possible.
Ladies and gents, my name is Xander, aka Deicide, and in this video we're going to discuss the Hawk mode and its best way how to one-tap in Destiny 2 Beyond Light PvP. For those of you OG D1 players like myself, you remember that way back when in Year 1 D1, this thing was an absolute monster and it could one-tap for a wide variety of situations. And the best news for us is that one tap is back. And I cannot wait to describe to you as to how to do that. But what this guide's going to also cover is pretty much a how-to in general. Not just how to get that one tap, but how to two tap, the perks that you should look for, aka random rolls. Yes, you're going to be right, random rolls are on this thing. So many more things, like shot rhythm, as we all know that is exceptionally important to land those crits. Speaking of crits, you gotta get those in order to find this wonderful weapons perk, and find out what that is. And what you have to do is just to simply sit back, relax, grab some of that popcorn, and press the notification button. Let's jump right into the video. Now, many of you are probably wondering, okay, Xander, well, this is awesome, but how exactly do I use this thing? How is it 2-tap? How is it guarantee a 1-tap? And that's what we're going to analyze by looking at the weapon's first perk called Paracasual Shots. It states, now final blows and precision hits with the Hawk Moon grant stacks of a Paracasual charge. The final round of the magazine deals bonus damage based on the number of stacks. Stowing Hawk Moon with the final round removes this bonus. More about this in just a couple of seconds, but we gotta look at the second perk that's very, very unique, and it's called Transformative. And this perk states that future drops of this weapon will have random rolls. Yes, we got some random rolls, and more about this in just a couple of seconds. But what I want to do first is I want to analyze that Paracasual Shot perk and really give you an upfront analysis as to how it actually works. First of all, know that when you have Paracasual Shot charge times 1, times 2, times 3, and then swap to a different weapon, that stack is still going to be there when you swap back to the Hawk Moon, as long as that is not the final round in the magazine. Very key thing to remember there. But the next thing that I want to show you is all the damage values for the stacks going from 1 to 7. You guys can see all those right there on screen in this fantastic little chart. By all means, be my guest and take a screenshot of this. The main two things that I want you to take away from this is that number 1, it's going to take you a 6 times charge to do 272 for a crit and thus 1-tap somebody in the head. Keep in mind, how are you getting these charges to stack? By getting critical headshots in the same magazine. And that doesn't mean that you gotta land all of them consecutively back to back to back, because you can land 2 crits, miss a crit, land 2 more crits, and then get 4, and so on and so forth. So that's how the charges are working. Now, what you also might have noticed from that previous chart is that you can actually do 426 points of damage for a crit with a Paracasual Shot charge times 7. Now, I'll be honest, it's not going to happen a lot in PvP. No, what it does mean is that that value can actually 1-tap supers. I know, complete insanity, and when I saw that, I was like, no freaking way! But now, granted, that can't one-shot all supers, and it can do only some supers. I haven't done all the testing for this, but just know that this is very, very effective and makes this weapon so much more worthy of its exotic status just because it can do this. Now, the next thing that we're going to analyze is how this thing can actually 2-tap Guardians and 1-tap Guardians. But before we can even do that, you gotta be able to land some crits and some bodies with the weapon's base PvP stats as well as when it happens to be charged with light, and even having the Whisper of Headrun's buff. Just that there's absolutely no confusion whatsoever, here's the weapon's PvP stats. On the left, you'll find the weapon with the base PvP stats as is, charged with light stats in the center, and the Whisper of Headrun's buff on the right hand side. Analyzing this just a little bit more, you're going to find that these TTK stats for the optimal TTK is the exact same across the board at 0.87 seconds. But the way in which you get this is for 3 crits, 1 crit and 2 body, and then 1 crit and 2 bar respectively, going from left to right. Now, why is this important to note? Excellent question. The reason why you're going to get some critical headshots here is because Paracasual Charge cannot even occur unless you stack critical headshots. Now, this doesn't mean that you actually got to get those kills. In reality, of course, you want to get the kills, but all it simply requires is getting the critical headshots. And so you can get 1 shot here, 1 shot there, 2 shots here, and potentially 2-tap somebody very, very easily by simply having Paracasual Shot times 4. Likewise, this can also be done when you're charged with light or have the Whisper of Headrun's buff. The simple fact here is that you actually don't need any single kills to get a 2-tap, because when these two things are combined, either Paracasual Charge times 1 and charged with light, or Paracasual Charge times 1 and the Whisper of Headrun's buff combined, you're then suddenly go a 2-tap with the last 2 bullets in the magazine. Again, for crystal clear transparency, you're going to see all the weapons base stats that I've just said right there on screen in the exact same order and going from left to right. First of all, note that the optimal TTK is going to be at 0.43 seconds, and that's just spectacular. The second thing to note is all the resiliences. And so as you go down to the bottom of this chart, one's going to have a resilience for Paracasual Charge times 4, Paracasual Charge times 1 and charge with light is then going to be at 6 resilience, whereas the Paracasual Charge times 1 and the Whisper of Headrun's buff combined is then going to down Guardian at 10 resilience, aka 201 points down. Not too shabby of a deal, if I don't say so myself. I see you, Bungie, and I like it. And this gets even better, my friends, because this thing, as you already know, in one-tap Guardians, and the way in which you can do so by just the weapon as is having paracasual charge times 6, and thus doing 272 for a crit, giving it that instantaneous DTK. Now, I'll be honest, if I got one-tapped by some enemy Guardian, I know for a fact I'd be a little bit salty. Also note that getting 6 critical headshots in one magazine can be quite tedious and quite difficult. It's not going to happen that often, but nonetheless, it can happen. Yet what I also want to say is that one-tapping guards can be a little bit easier by simply having paracasual charge times 5, and also in correlation with having the buff or Trident of Light or the Whisperer Headrun spot, you can still one-tap Guardians. You guys can see those stats right there on screen. Now, we've already discussed the paracasual one-tap with the weapon just as is and having paracasual charge times 6. But if you look in the center and on the right-hand side, you're also going to notice that when you input have paracasual charge times 5 and a Trident of Light buff or a Whisperer Headrun spot, you're then going to do 214 or 223 per crit respectively, thus still getting a one-tap, so your enemy going to the afterlife and Anubis a little bit sooner than what they might expect, saying adios, bye-bye, ciao. And
the Vikings take on the Saints. Coverage begins today at 3:30 Eastern on Fox NFL Network and streaming on Prime Video.
having seen all these calculations, I think it's safe to say that this thing is going to be so lethal PvP, it's going to make enemy guardians say, what the heck did I just get wrecked by? And once you get that one tap, that dopamine's going to be sent right to your brain, and you're going to want to do it over and over again. However, what you gotta understand is that that's not that easy to do. And so to make this thing that much more consistent, what you gotta understand is how to use this weapon, in particular the weapon's effective range, its bullet magnetism, its bloom, how many shots until it becomes inconsistent, all that kind of stuff, as well as the weapon's shot rhythm. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I am a huge fan of mastering your hand cannon shot rhythm. If you haven't figured this out yet, I made a fantastic video which I'll link at the top of your screen this very second, so by all means, check that out. Trust me, it's going to help you. But in terms of the Hawkman specifically, you're going to look at the weapon's base stats and realize this thing's shot rhythm is spectacular. As it's got a stability stat at 77, a handling stat at 84, aim assist stat at 93, a recoil at 96, and an overall bounce intensity that's not only vertical, but only at 4. Now, one could argue that these base stats alone are certainly worthy of it being exotic just by itself, but when you take these into account and realize how shot rhythm is affected by this, you are then going to understand that this weapon's distinctive sound, as well as the weapon's overall visual cues, can then make that shot rhythm that much easier to master. If you want to get those one-taps and send Team Rocket blasting off again, then trust me, that's the absolute must to do. But the next thing that I want to cover is the weapon's base range. And as you already saw previously, its base range is at 57, but with the weapon's standardized roll, it's already then going to be at 62. What does this mean for us? Excellent question, and we're going to go into a private match right now to actually analyze how this thing is then going to have an optimal effective range. As AJ here takes to this Darcy and measures exactly 30 meters, I then aim down sights and realize that this thing is then doing 70 for a crit, as you would expect. Going back just a smidge to 31 meters, we then see that this Hawk is doing 68 for a crit, and this then means to us that this weapon's optimal effective range is at 30 meters. Taking one step back, I want you to keep this in mind. This is the standardized roll that I'm testing and what you guys just saw. And so this thing can also happen to have randomized rolls, which we'll get into in just a couple of minutes, but it might happen to have something like, say, rangefinder, and thus increases weapon's optimal effective range significantly. Just for food for thought, I know, but the next thing that we're going to look at is the weapon's bullet magnetism, specifically at 10 meters and 20 meters respectively. As I speed up these test cases just a tiny little bit, we're going to shoot on the right-hand side of the head and on the top side of the head at 10 meters. And you're going to realize that you have got to land those shots on the right-hand side of the head, as there's actually no leniency. On the top side of the head, you can actually get shots into the health bar, but not actually from the health bar itself. Going back to 20 meters, here we happen to see a little bit something different. But rather what we're going to realize is that both on the right-hand side of the head and on the top side of the head, you can actually miss by a much wider margin of error, as this weapon's hitbox is much more increased at these longer distances, and not just on the right side of the head, but on the top side of the head, as we saw at 10 meters. Essentially what this means to you is how to use the weapon. If you're going to miss shots on the top side of the head, regardless of whether that be close engagements or range engagements, or actually going to be chances to get more critical headshots. If you're going to miss shots on the right side of the head, do so at distance, but not in close range distances, because I'm telling you, There's absolutely no limits for air there, and you're gonna miss your shot and probably get eviscerated in the process, making enemy go and say, "Thank you, check please, come again." And you don't want that, I don't want that, nobody wants that. Alrighty, and the very last thing that I want to show you, at least in terms of private matches and how to use the weapon, is understanding the weapon's bloom. So we go into a private match, we're going to shoot up against this wall, both in real time and also in slow motion. And in real time, we're going to understand one thing: we're aiming down sights as well as hip firing. This weapon's recoil is vertical and vertical alone, and that's excellent news for us. However, by looking at the weapon's hip-fire reticle in slow motion, one can tell that it takes exactly 3 shots before the weapon's hip-fire reticle tickers no longer returns to within the hip-fire reticle, and that is significant. Once this occurs, bloom is going to be drastic. That's going to make the weapon that much more inconsistent and that much more inaccurate. So this then means you land those first 3 shots. If you don't, then not only getting that first kill, but potentially winning that 1v2 engagement is going to be that much harder to do. So I'm telling you for your own benefit, make sure that you mess this weapon shot rhythm again, so that you can get those 3 taps and potentially 2 taps and eventually 1 taps for that very last Guardian, obliterating them just like Exodia. And having seen all these tests, I think that you guys now get a very firm understanding of how the weapon's then functioning. Not just in terms of its optimal effective range, but the weapon's flow of magnetism, how much that you can miss and not miss, as well as the weapon's bloom, aka inconsistencies and inaccuracies, to make sure that you're getting those first couple of kills and eventually those 1 taps. Now, something that might be able to make this process a little bit easier is by potentially getting a randomized roll. And yes, I said random roll, aka a god roll, because this Hawkmoon has that perk called Transformative, and thus it can get a wide variety.
Oh, ooh. Alright. That's okay. It's okay. Oh, this is okay. It's okay. It's Who's that? Go get him. It's okay. It's okay. You can give me kisses. Oh, yeah.
Hurry back, Best. I will join you later for the feast.
Who's that? Go get him.
Never used to stir the soul as the hunt did. But now, my outlaw is here. All has changed.
Bearskin, you promised me would never be apart, not for one waking or sleeping moment. And already you're sneaking out to hunt.
For the feast, sweetling. We owe our mutual friend a great debt. One that I promised to repay over suckling pig and ale. Sister, have you forgotten who you are?
I have a right to happiness outreach. Or am I to play nursemaid forever, you ungrateful pup?
Happiness, yes. But you embarrass yourself nightly, heaving and sweating with this ham-hock.
Hold your tongue, boy. Lest we both speak our truths.
What truth have you to speak? That you've returned to this fickle man who abandoned you years ago for Frankie's pet? A woman who paid disdain to abduct in that lavish shadow play.
Mind yourself, boy.
Or that you let him sniff and paw you and take him to your bed on the promise of nothing. The whole of Essex whispers now. He's married still.
Yes.
hours ago.
Oh my god! Why is my phone recorded vertically?
I will never forget this. Never.
I hate smartphones!
What happened, Hannah?
It recorded it vertically!
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, if you swap it.
I had it flipped and then pushed record!
Oh, then it shouldn't have done it.
Well, it fucking did!
My lord, joyous news. God smiles upon us this very day. Estrid has been found by Alfred's men. They ride to her rescue as we speak.
I'm so fucking mad right now. I can't redo this!
I will not let this plot be undone.
Nothing is safe till they are away to Francia.
I will fix this. One day I'll call on you. You will come.
You can
You can
count on it,
my friend.
I wanted to tell you so many times.
Oh, Jesus. You just need to buy a good camera, dude.
I tried to. The camera I bought sucks.
Well, just fucking go all out. Buy a fucking expensive one.
Estrid is so close to freedom. I hope I'm not too late. Rollo! Alfred's men have found you!
What? Found us how? Were we betrayed?
Gerhild, you protect Estrid. If she is taken, all is lost for Estrid. They will skewer us like suckling pigs.
Saxons! We are your queen! Come take her!
You fetid bloodluster. Was it you? Treacherous she-wolf! Damn you!
Release the woman, James! If she's unharmed, we'll let her
Estrid!
Gods! Gerhild, the traitor? I should have listened to my gut. I always hated the way she carried herself, glared at me. This is my fault, Estrid. Mine alone.
Stop chiding yourself, Rollo. You could not have known it would come to this.
Can you move? I can pull the arrow from you, but I fear what pain it will cause.
I can stand, if I can lean upon you, Rollo.
If we stay here, we die. Come, Swingbird. I'll take you to the ship and we'll tend your wounds. You will see Frankie yet.
When winter is past, summer will come and wind you in a flowered skirt. For you are beauty, and shall not wither. Take care of her, Rollo Stoutheart. And if you find yourself on England's shores again, I will welcome you in my hall. Estrid's wound was grave, but she'll live long enough to see the shores of Frankie. If only that. Best got his end of the bargain, and Estrid is to Frankie. I should return to Randra.
No greater honor than to serve a boy. We'll wait for the day our earth lays for your side.
Always nice to see a friendly face. So if you see any about, send them my way. Men like Doug litter every clan, city, and century. The prideful ones. Men who never know when just enough is still too much.
I have completed the contract.
Excellent work, my friend. You impress me more and more every day. Here is what you have done. You go up.
The Wolfka. So glad to see you.
Eivor, out the gate.
In Essex, I played a matchmaker and a heartbreaker. An easy way to forge an alliance, but let us stick to war and diplomacy.
Understood. Thank you, Eivor.
I want to see the alliance map. My mind is fixed on Sussex. Bassett and I have a chance to save Sigurd, but we will need an army.
That is for you to decide. The more alliances you have, the better your chances at victory.
What about Lincolnshire?
A rather boisterous man named Hundwald arrived recently, wishing to speak with you. On a matter of great importance, he said.
Where is he now?
Down at the docks, carousing with my scouts and scaring the fish from the river. He waits for you with great eagerness.
He sounds charming. I will meet him at once.
Protect your ears.
Looks like.
evil.
Nowhere I'd rather be than should you change your mind.
You may think this odd, but our lively chatter here has inspired in me a short poem. May I recite it for you?
Go on, Lord boy. Make me tremble.
Oh, indeed, I shall try. I call it Ode to a Hungry Flame.
Another skull come to join us.
Me? Oh, goodness, no. I'm no skald, no. Just a humble nobleman with an interest in versification. An amateur, really. Shall I continue?
I'm not here to judge your poems, Lord. Speak your purpose or down your meat.
Yes. Sorry. I have come with the hope of meeting Abel, the great warrior of this clan. If such an audience is possible.
Every warrior in this clan deserves a soul of saga, Lord. Why Abel?
Because his name alone dries the tongues of my enemies. If such a hero fought beside me, I'd fear nothing.
What's your name,
Lord?
I am Hundwald, loyal son of Lord Hunbeor, the current alderman of Lincolnshire. May God keep and cure him. You see, my father is ailing, and in his delirium, evil men have corrupted his judgment. A secret and powerful order, if the whispers are true. Only a month ago, without forewarning, mercy soldiers chased me, his only son, from my home. I know not why, but I do know my father would never have ordered my exile.
Outcast from your family. That's a hard road to walk.
Could one of your clan help me return to Lincoln? March beside me through the city gates and set me at my father's noble feet once again.
It may be you can help, but we'll want something in return. An alliance between our clan and yours.
And you shall have it. My father is a great friend of the Danes, in spite of the recent wars.
You sing a sad song, Wald of Lincolnshire. A son robbed of his father's protection, now desperate to prove his honor. How far will you go to regain it? To a bloody end?
Oh, indeed. I will plunge into the heat of battle to defend my father, knowing our cause is a righteous one.
All right, young lord. My clan has need of me just now. But when I'm ready, we'll find your father together and right the wrongs you suffered.
You are the chieftain here. I suspected as much. God praise you, Abel.
I won't be leading you into the heart of the shield wall, but there will be danger. I want your word. You will follow my orders to the room.
I am yours to abuse.
If it comes to that,
I'll wait for you in my safe haven, Bottleston to the northeast. From there, we shall make our way to Lincoln.
Goodbye, Lord boy. Safe travels.
God bless and keep you all.
I fear maybe escorting that boy to his own execution.
That might shut him
call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 2528837.
To the Swan Road!
One. That it? Don't be a stranger.
What do you see, Smith? Baker is done, and our feasting table will be warmer for it.
Eivor, that is kind. I hope one day I can repay you.
You are among friends here. There's no need.
No need, but a desire. An earnest. I remember the good things people do for me. To warm my heart, times when kindnesses are few and far between. There was one more thing, though. If you had the moment. A grain merchant has set up downriver. I want to bring a half-dozen bags full, but I would need an extra pair of hands.
I can lend a hand.
That's a relief. I did not fancy asking Olga.
Tarzan, what brought you to our clan?
Your reputation. Heard say a band of hard-drinking, battle-scarred warriors washed up on shore. Said you had settled in the center of Mercy, taking in whatever floats and jetsam and jumble of misfits came to your dock.
And there's appeal to you.
More than any. Always been a bit of a drifter. The thought of settling in a rowdy camp felt like a good battle. And being a baker, I knew my services would not be sniffed at.
I did not think you called Baker when we met. You have the look of someone who swings an axe.
I do hear that a lot.
But baking is your only craft, is that right?
I have always enjoyed it. And I have always been good at it. But when I'm not able to find such work, I take odd jobs where I can. So long as I can work with my hands.
Well, we have that in common.
A question, Eivor. You're a warrior. A fighter. That much I know. But if you could stop fighting, what would you do?
You asked the wrong question. I can stop. So would be to deny the essence of who I am. I think you mean, if I had to stop fighting, what would I become?
No, you've given me the answer I want. It's good to have found the cause. A rare and happy thing.
Yes, I see you both. What can I... It's you. What are you doing in Mercia?
Collecting grain. 30 silver's worth if you can spare it. I do have the coin.
Right. Well... Take what you need and get going.
That should cover it. Thank you kindly.
Of course. And you take care of yourself. Yeah.
Is that your usual vendor? He seemed a little surprised to see you.
Did he? Well, could be he knows somebody who looks like me. There's no shortage of big bearded men around here, yeah?
I suppose not. About your question earlier, what would I do if I weren't a warrior? I would ask the same of you.
Oh no.
Is baking bread your greatest wish?
Is there something wrong with wanting to bake bread? The Romans baked bread. The Egyptians baked bread.
It is a fine trade. But is it your calling?
It is my calling to feed people, I'd say. To be of service to those I care for, and who care for me. That brings me joy.
But that way is a noble pursuit.
I don't know that it's noble. It is simply what gets me up in the morning. It gives me purpose for the rest of my day.
Need help with your grain?
No need. I'll do the rest myself. Bring it in and put it where I like.
All right. It was good to speak with you, Tobin. A welcome diversion.
You too, Eivor. Thank you for your help.
Let's see.
Yes, one more. And only because you all
Merry Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas.
You sound tired.
No, I just went since.
So I found a workaround for the Zen stuff. I play PS5 game.
What?
You gotta buy a third-party controller, but there's one that's only about $30. You buy, and all it does is use it as an authentication controller. Because the PlayStation says, oh, he's using this third-party controller, and then once you use it as an auth controller, then you can use whatever you want. And you can also use keyboard and mouse, and apparently the Zen makes the keyboard and mouse almost identical to what it is on the computer. So you can essentially play against the console players and stuff using the keyboard and mouse. Or you can use whatever controller you want.
You can't use the PS4?
Well, I mean, you got to have. Yeah, you can, but you got to have the authentication controller. You got to have that controller, regardless if you're gonna play a PS5 game.
Well, I finally went in transit.
But it's only about $30.
I thought the collector's mine will never ship mine out, but it's in Raleigh right now.
Off we go.
Well, they sell them controllers on Amazon for $30.
Did you get one? Did you see
Yeah.
it work?
Yeah, I got one. It works. It's on their site.
Oh, okay.
So I bought that, and I got me a keyboard and mouse, and a little desk, and I'm gonna try see what it does.
Need to go away out. Sing.
Yeah,
Cause the Hawk Moon, they got a gun called the Hawk Moon up there, and that can one tap players. It's a handgun, like hand cannon gun. And it can one tap players in PvP. It can even one tap supers. And it's just a handgun. It's an exotic hand cannon. What it is every time you headshot somebody with that gun, it increases a charge. And then your last bullet in that magazine is gonna do all that charge. And how many charges you got is how much damage. So if you get 5 headshots in that magazine, then that last shot that you shoot is gonna kill somebody.
yeah, but a couple nights ago, there's a surprise party or something for Daddy, and it was down the road at Rainbow's restaurant, whatever, and they were out there all drinking and stuff, but then Mama was like, I don't want to go out there, they didn't want me to go out there, and I was like, Mom, you don't need to go out there, because you end up doing something, and then she was like, no, I'm not, I don't even got that urge no more, and stuff like that. But then I was like, all right, I'm going to tell you now. I said, I'm warning you, you shouldn't go. And then she went, and they went off, and this and that, and yeah, so.
Man, as long as she don't do drugs, she'll be fine, but she can't not do drugs. She's going up doing them.
Yeah, they went off, and she got pills, and got done whatever. So now it's just, I mean, she's just on that life now. She's drinking, doing it, but I ain't worried about it. We tried to say, and me and Rhiannon both tried to tell her not to go. Yeah, it's like she wants to live that lifestyle.
She always will do. Brandon's going up doing it too.
What's her name? This guy named Ronnie Miller.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of young, and he a couple nights ago, Do you know Ronnie Miller? Big fat guy.
Yeah, I know him. He was the hobo with the other one, right?
No, that's John.
Well, I mean, your Uncle John had two guys working with him at one point. One of them was a skinny Ronnie, and the other one was a fat one.
Ronnie Miller is real big, like 300 pounds. He does construction now.
Oh, okay, bro. Different guy.
Well, he's like around my dad's age. And the other night, he told his son to go get him one of them Zanny bars or whatever. And his son went and got him one. That Ronnie Miller took it, and he said he won't feel it right. He went to sleep that night and never woke back up.
Oh. Damn. He took what now? What did he take?
Them Zanny bars, Xanax.
Oh.
That's the ones Mama takes.
That's what drugs do to you, man.
And I told Mama, I said, Mama, did you not? Because she knows. They all know Ronnie Miller. We all know. And I was like, Mama, did you see what happened to him? She said, no, my medicine ain't like that.
I don't care, dude. Thing is, Mama used to not be this way.
I know.
I mean, she met my daddy and got pregnant with me, and then after that, they started going off and stuff. I'm just worried that Rihanna's gonna be doing the same thing.
No, Rihanna, she's cause she had that baby and she can't.
You talking about after the baby?
That's what I'm saying. She can't be around it. She don't want the baby around this stuff. She scared the baby get took from it. Like if they were doing them drugs, we call it law, they could take the baby. So
I hope you're right, man. But remember, she ain't even got her GED. Life's gonna be hard on her.
She just ain't. She stayed at Matthews the other night. And she was talking about going to grandma.
You the only one that ain't messed up your life yet, so don't do it.
I ain't gonna mess them up.
No matter how hard things get, don't get tempted to go sell drugs and shit.
No, I ain't gonna do it.
My daddy got caught, and